Howdy, today in Flippin Science, looking at organisation in organisms. So the science understandings we're going to look at, multicellular organisms have a hierarchical structural organisation of cells, tissues, organs and systems. So I use examples from plants and animals to explain organisation of cells into tissues, tissues into organs, and organs into systems, and illustrate the relationship between the structure and function of cells, tissues, organs and systems. So what is an organism? An organism is a collection of cells, tissues, organs and systems that's capable of independent existence and reproduction. So you're an organism. We're going to focus on types of cells can join together to make tissues, how different tissues can join together to make organs, and how different organs can join together to make body systems. So just recapping what we looked at last time, we looked at differentiation. So all cells have identical DNA because they came from the same fertilized cell. Different types of cells are produced by turning on or off different genes to produce different cell types. So this is called specialization. So specialized cells are produced early on in an organism. They keep on dividing and produce more cells of the same type. Each of the different cell types contain different structures and have different functions. So for example, over here we have muscle cells. So early on in an organism you'll get muscle cells being produced. They divide to produce more muscle cells, and that's an example of a type of cell. So an example of a different type of cell is bone cells. So bone cells produce a hard external matrix, usually made of calcium phosphate, that provides strength and support to act as a skeleton for the organism. This is different from muscle cells, whose job is to contract and move things. In plants, mesophyll cells are found in leaves and they contain chloroplasts, and they allow the cell to do photosynthesis. So those cells trap light energy and convert it into chemical energy through the process of photosynthesis. So again, this is a completely different type of cell with different genes and different structures. Now, cells of the same type are usually found together, and when that happens, we call that group of cells that are similar a tissue. Those cells can be held together by sticky substances or by a fabric of extracellular fibers, and that's called generally connective tissue. So up here we have some examples of some tissues. So here we have a whole heap of smooth muscle cells joined together to make up smooth muscle tissue, and in this case this is found in the wall of the small intestine. Down here in a plant we have the outer layers of the plants. They're made of particular types of cells, and we group that together into what we call epidermal tissue. So epidermal cells join together to make epidermal tissue. Humans have 4 basic types of cells, and I'll just briefly talk about them. So epithelial cells are lining cells, like your skin, like the inside of your mouth and digestive system. So they line structures in your body. Connective tissue joins other types of tissue together. So a good example is blood, for example, which joins all your tissues together. Muscle tissue contracts and can move structures. So you have muscles that move limbs and fingers and things like that. It's one type of muscle. You have cardiac muscle in your heart, and you have other different types of muscle as well. And nervous tissue, so that sends information around the body, and it's made up of particular cell types called neurons. So cells make tissues, and a variety of tissues together makes up an organ. So an organ is a collection of tissues that perform an important or specialized task within the body. So we're going to look at an example of an organ in terms of the stomach. So the stomach is a very important organ in the digestive system. The stomach is made up of a variety of different tissues that are joined together. By having those different tissue types together, you can have a particular job done. In this case, the stomach is to store food while it's being partially digested. So this is a cross-section showing the layers of the stomach and the types of cells that you find there, so the different types of tissues. So down here we have the surface epithelium, so this is a lining cell, and that contains the cells that produce the gastric juice, so the gland cells. Underneath that we have some blood vessels, that's a connective tissue. Beneath that we have some muscular tissue here, and we have different types of muscular tissue as well. So we have multiple layers of different types of cells, and those cells are joined together to make different types of tissue. So the stomach is a good example of an organ that's made up of a variety of types of cells, and therefore a variety of tissues. So here are some examples of organs found in animals. So hearts. Is made of muscle, nerve and blood tissue, mainly muscle tissue, cardiac muscle tissue. And its job is to pump blood around the body. So because it's got muscles that can pump, it's got nerves that can take information from the brain and other places to tell the muscle cells how to pump, and also contains blood because it pushes the blood around the body. So it's got several different tissues there. The brain is made up of mainly nerve tissue, so neurons, but it also contains an awful lot of blood as well. And its job is to send information around the body, or receive information and send information around the body. And the liver is made up of connective tissue and blood tissue and liver tissue, let's be honest. And its job is to metabolize waste, produce bile, and also store glycogen, which is an energy storage molecule. So each of these organs is made up of a variety of tissues. So here are some plant organs. So the root is made up of epidermal and vascular tissue, and its job is to absorb water and nutrients from the soil, anchor the plant, and also send the water and nutrients to the plant. And that's what the vascular tissue does. In the stem you have epidermal tissue again, the vascular tissue that continues from the roots, but also parenchyma cells. And their job is, again, to transport materials from the roots to the rest of the plant, but also to support the plant. Leaves have epidermal tissue, mesophyll tissue, and vascular tissue. We saw mesophyll cells before. They're the cells that contain chloroplasts that can do photosynthesis. So the job of the leaf is to do photosynthesis, produce the sugars, and then transport that around the plant. And again, that's why we have the vascular tissue there, to do that transport. So a group of organs that work together to perform a particular function, we call that an organ system, or just usually a system. So a good example, we talked about the stomach before, that's part of the digestive system. The digestive system is made up of many organs that are joined together to do a particular job. In this case, to break down food and absorb the products of food. An organism is made up of a combination of organ systems that are integrated and perform the necessary functions of life. So here's a big list of the organ systems found in the human body. We'll spend a bit of time looking at the first four in this topic. So the cardiovascular system, its job is to pump blood around the body. The major organ there is the heart, but it's also connected to other organ systems as well. It's connected to every system in the body. And that's through a system of arteries, veins, and capillaries. Digestive system's job is to break down food into small components, and then absorb those components of food into the body. It's made up of the mouth, the stomach, the intestines, the pancreas, and also the liver. The respiratory system is made up of the trachea, lungs, and the diaphragm. Its job is to allow for gas exchange, so oxygen to get into your body and carbon dioxide to get out. The excretory system, its job is to get rid of waste products from your body. The main organ there is the kidney, but also we have the bladder, skin, and other parts of the body as well. Then we have some other systems. This is just a short list. There's many other organ systems. We've got the reproductive system, the immune system, the nervous system, the endocrine system. Each of those systems is made up of a variety of organs doing a particular job together. So the reproductive system produces offspring. The immune system defends your body from invasive pathogens. The nervous system detects stimuli from both outside and inside the body to keep the organism working well. And the endocrine system produces hormones that allows the organism to maintain particular systems at a particular level. We call that homeostasis. The nervous and endocrine system often work together. So today on Flipping Science, we looked at how organisms are organized. Cells produce tissues. Several tissues together make up an organ. Several organs together make up a body system. That's it for Flipping Science today. See ya.